Want to know how most people destroy their turbo diesel engines without even realizing it? It's not bad luck. It's not poor design. It's simple habits that almost every driver does without thinking. These 5 mistakes are so common that most people believe they're harmless. But in reality, they're slowly killing their engines from the inside out. And the worst part, every single one of them is 100% preventable. So today, let's talk about the 5 hidden mistakes that are quietly wrecking turbo diesel engines across America every single day. These habits can cost you thousands of dollars if you don't fix them right now. All right, let's jump right in. Mistake number 1, not letting the engine warm up. It's a freezing winter morning in Minnesota. You rush outside, start your diesel truck, and the moment it fires up, you hit the road, flooring the gas because you're late for work. That simple act just took years off your engine's life in less than a minute. Here's why. When your engine is cold, the oil is thick, almost like syrup. It hasn't had time to circulate through the turbocharger, bearings, and pistons. Your turbo spins at over 100,000 revolutions per minute, and it needs smooth, warm oil to protect those tiny moving parts. But when you push your engine hard before it's warm, those turbo bearings get starved of lubrication while spinning at maximum speed. The result? Complete turbo failure, a $3,000 to $5,000 mistake that could have been prevented with a little patience. So what's the fix? Simple. In cold weather, let your diesel idle for 2 to 3 minutes before driving. Then drive gently for the first few miles until the temperature gauge reaches normal. This small habit protects your turbo, saves thousands in repair costs, and adds years of life to your engine. Think of it this way, your diesel isn't just a machine, it's like an athlete. You don't sprint the moment you wake up, you warm up first. Your truck deserves the same care. Mistake number 2, poor oil maintenance. If there's one mistake that destroys more turbo diesels than anything else, it's this one: bad oil habits. Oil is the lifeblood of your diesel engine. It cools, cleans, and lubricates every single moving part. But here's what most drivers don't realize. About 70% of turbo diesel failures are caused by oil problems. That means 7 out of 10 destroyed engines could have been saved just by doing proper oil maintenance. So what's the big mistake? It's following those extra long oil change intervals that manufacturers advertise. Those schedules look great on paper, but they're written for perfect conditions: mild weather, light loads, and highway driving. Let's be honest, that's not how most Americans drive. We sit in traffic, tow trailers, idle in the cold, and push our trucks hard. When you stretch your oil changes too long, that oil gets dirty, full of soot, and thick like sludge. Dirty oil can't protect your turbocharger, and that's where disaster starts. Think of the turbo as a small jet engine. It spins insanely fast and runs at crazy high temperatures. When the oil breaks down or runs low, those bearings inside the turbo start grinding themselves apart. Keep driving like that, and you'll soon be staring at a $3,000, $5,000 repair bill. So here's what you should do instead. Change your oil every 5,000 to 6,000 miles. That's around every 2 to 3 months for most drivers. Use full synthetic oil. Synthetic flows better in cold weather and handles heat better in summer. Check your oil level once a week. It takes 30 seconds and can literally save your engine. Use the right viscosity, like 5V30 or 5V40, depending on what your manual recommends. Let me break it down for you. An oil change costs maybe $60 to $80 depending on where you go. A turbo replacement costs $3,000 or more. So which one sounds better to you? Here's the thing that'll save you hundreds of dollars. Never assume your oil is fine just because the car runs fine. By the time you notice a problem, the damage is already done. Be proactive, not reactive, and your turbo diesel will thank you every single mile. Mistake number 3, shutting down a hot engine. You've just finished towing your trailer up a steep hill, or maybe you've been driving hard on the highway in your diesel truck. You finally reach your destination, park the vehicle, and immediately turn off the ignition. Seems harmless, right? Well, that one simple move can kill your turbocharger faster than almost anything else. Here's what's actually happening inside your engine. When you're driving hard, your turbocharger is spinning at over 100,000 RPM and glowing red hot from heat. The oil flowing through it is the only thing keeping it cool and lubricated. But when you shut off the engine instantly, that oil flow stops, while the turbo keeps spinning for a few more seconds. Without oil circulation, the leftover oil inside the turbo burns and turns into carbon, creating hard deposits. Over time, those carbon deposits clog the oil passages and grind down the turbo bearings. Once that happens, your turbo starts whining, losing boost, and eventually fails completely. And replacing a turbo? That'll cost you $3,000 to $5,000. Sometimes more depending on your truck model. So what should you do instead? The solution is simple, and it doesn't cost a thing. After any hard driving, towing, or highway run, let your diesel idle for about 30 to 60 seconds before shutting it off. That short cooldown lets oil circulate through the turbo one last time, cooling it down safely and preventing that dangerous carbon buildup. Now, some people say modern turbos are water-cooled, so I don't need to do that anymore. Here's the truth. Yes, many new diesels have water-cooled turbos or electric oil pumps, but they still can't protect the turbo as effectively as a short idle period. Think of that 1 minute as cheap insurance. It costs you nothing, but it can save thousands in repair bills. Your mechanic might not mention this because most people don't ask, but every diesel technician knows shutting down hot is the silent turbo killer. So next time you park after a long drive, just wait 60 seconds before turning the key off. That 1 minute pause could be the difference between a healthy turbo and a costly trip to the repair shop. Mistake number 4, bad fuel quality and ignoring fuel filters. Let's be honest, diesel fuel in the US isn't always as clean as you'd hope. If you've filled up at a random small-town gas station or during a long road trip, you've probably pumped fuel that wasn't perfectly pure. And here's the dangerous part. Diesel fuel can contain water, dirt, and tiny metal particles that can quietly destroy your engine from the inside. Now, you might be thinking, how bad can a little dirt really be? The truth is very bad. Even a few drops of water or bits of debris can ruin your fuel injectors. And once those fail, you're looking at a repair bill anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 or more. Here's what most American drivers don't realize. Your diesel's fuel system runs on extremely tight tolerances. The fuel injectors are spraying microscopic amounts of fuel at thousands of pounds of pressure per square inch. If a speck of dirt gets in there, it scratches the injector's tip, causing rough idling, poor fuel economy, or worse, total injector failure. And this is where it gets really expensive. When one injector goes bad, it usually affects the others. Before you know it, you're paying thousands just because of one small maintenance mistake. Ignoring your fuel filters. Let me break this down for you. Every diesel engine has 2 main fuel filters, a primary and a secondary filter. Their job is simple: trap water, dirt, and particles before they reach the injectors. But over time, these filters fill up and can't do their job properly. That's when you start noticing warning signs like sluggish acceleration, engine hesitation or jerking, trouble starting your truck on cold mornings, reduced miles per gallon. If you see any of those symptoms, it's a big red flag. Ignoring them can lead to clogged injectors, fuel pump damage, and even complete engine shutdown while driving, which can be both dangerous and expensive. So what's the fix? Replace your fuel filters every 10,000 to 15,000 miles, depending on your vehicle's manual and driving conditions. If you do lots of towing, dusty driving, or use smaller fuel stations, it's smarter to change them sooner. Most filters cost under $40 and you can replace them yourself in about 30 minutes. Auto parts stores like AutoZone, O'Reilly Auto Parts, or Napa carry fuel filters for almost every diesel truck. Pro tip: always buy diesel fuel from busy gas stations, the ones with constant truck traffic. High turnover means the diesel fuel is fresher, with less chance of water buildup in underground tanks. And if you want to go one step further, use a diesel fuel additive every few fill-ups. Products like Power Service Diesel Clean or Stanodyne Performance Formula can clean injectors, reduce water, and improve mileage. It's a few dollars per bottle, but it can save you thousands in the long run. Clean fuel keeps your diesel engine strong. Skipping filter changes or using low-quality fuel is one of the most costly and avoidable mistakes you can make as a diesel owner. So next time you fill up, think about it. Is that $40 filter worth skipping, or is it worth protecting your $8,000 engine? The answer is easy. Replace your filters. Buy fuel from good stations. Your engine and your wallet will thank you later. Mistake number 5. Ignoring the EGR system. Now here's a big one most diesel owners never think about. The EGR system, short for exhaust gas recirculation. It sounds technical, but its job is pretty simple. It takes some of your exhaust gases, and sends them back into the engine to reduce emissions and lower combustion temperatures. The idea behind this system is good. It helps the environment and keeps nitrogen oxide levels down. But here's the problem. Those exhaust gases are dirty, filled with carbon, soot, and unburned fuel particles. And over time, that gunk builds up inside your EGR valve, intake manifold, and engine passages. At first, you might not notice anything. Your truck runs fine, maybe just a little less responsive than before. But slowly, the performance starts to fade. You lose power, your fuel economy drops, and eventually you'll see the dreaded check engine light come on. What's happening? That carbon buildup is blocking airflow. Your engine is basically trying to breathe through a clogged straw. And when the EGR valve gets stuck open or shut, it throws off the air-fuel balance, creating higher temperatures and dangerous hotspots inside your cylinders. Here's the scary part. Those carbon chunks can actually break loose and get sucked straight into the cylinders. When that happens, the hard particles act like sandpaper, scratching cylinder walls and damaging pistons. And that's not a cheap fix. You're talking about a $4,000 to $8,000 engine rebuild. So how do you avoid this disaster? Easy. Give your EGR system regular attention. Every 30,000 to 40,000 miles, around 48,000 to 64,000 kilometers, clean your EGR valve and intake manifold. If you drive mostly in the city, tow heavy loads, or idle often, you might want to do it even sooner. You can either have a mechanic clean or replace the EGR valve, or do it yourself if you're confident with tools. There are tons of step-by-step guides and cleaning sprays made just for this. Here's another pro tip. Use a diesel fuel additive that reduces soot buildup that'll help keep your EGR cleaner for longer. Also, make sure your air filter and oil are always fresh. Dirty oil and clogged air filters increase soot production, which means your EGR system gets filthy faster. If you've ever seen thick black smoke coming from a diesel exhaust, that's a good sign the EGR system isn't working properly. And while some people try to delete their EGR system entirely, don't. In the US, EGR deletes are illegal for street vehicles and can get you fined. Plus, modern diesels are tuned to rely on that system for balance. Removing it can cause other expensive problems down the line. So keep it clean, not removed. The EGR system may not be flashy, but it's one of the most important parts of keeping your turbo diesel running strong. Ignore it, and you're asking for power loss, expensive repairs, and engine damage. Maintain it, and your diesel will reward you with smoother power, lower emissions, and longer life. A quick clean every few years beats a $6,000 rebuild any day. If this video helped you protect your diesel from costly mistakes, hit that like button right now. It tells YouTube this is the kind of info real drivers need to see. And if you care about keeping your truck running stronger, longer, and saving thousands of dollars in repairs, we drop videos every single week packed with hidden car secrets, mechanic-approved maintenance tips, and truths that can save your wallet. Have a story about your own diesel experience, good or bad? Tell us in the comments. We read every single one, and your story might help another driver avoid a big mistake. Until then, drive smart, take care of your diesel, and as always, stay safe out there.